As I predicted in my video earlier, the US will strongly force TSMC to set up factories in America, transfer production capacity and technology, thereby reducing risks to the American tech industry if war breaks out in the Taiwan Strait. I believe Trump's America First policy is essentially isolationism, a strategic retreat. However, this script has some unique features compared to the past. One point is indiscriminate blackmail and robbery of allies. TSMC's previous delays and perfunctory strategies clearly cannot continue to work. The Arizona factory will take on advanced processes, including 2 nanometers, and a research and development center will also be built. TSMC held its shareholders meeting outside Taiwan for the first time in history. Chairman C.C. Wei was invited to the White House to receive Trump's commendation. I think it won't be long before TSMC turns into an American semiconductor manufacturing company. Even more alarming, TSMC is forced to invest in Intel's chip manufacturing business, helping Intel improve its chip processes, address fabrication and yield issues. This is equivalent to paying to cultivate a strategic competitor, bearing huge strategic risks, yet having no real say at Intel. However, TSMC can only silently accept all these conditions because the US holds the trump card. Although TSMC claims to master the world's most advanced chip fabrication technology, it heavily relies on Dutch ASML lithography machines, Japanese chemical materials, American electronic design automation tools. All these links are under American control. As soon as the U.S. Department of Commerce issues an order, TSMC will immediately face supply chain disruptions and collapse. Its fate would be far worse than that of Huawei, SMIC, other mainland Chinese companies. TSMC's largest investors are shares from around the world controlled by American investment institutions. Most of its profit dividends also go to foreign investors. The only thing Taiwan can control is operational rights. It can keep TSMC's main production capacity and advanced processes in Taiwan, employ a large workforce, create a vast industrial ecosystem, drive economic development. However, with the U.S. government's intervention, the Taiwan government has clearly lost its decision-making power. TSMC setting up factories and research centers in America will not only reduce investment in Taiwan, but also take away numerous upstream and downstream companies, along with supporting service industries. This is tantamount to cutting Taiwan's flesh to create economic prosperity for the U.S. Yet it's not just Taiwan. The U.S. treats all its allies this way. As long as you become an industry leader with profits big enough to make Americans jealous, the U.S. government will step in to intimidate you. Either invest in America or sell to American companies. Otherwise, the U.S. government will use various means to attack and sanction you until you shut down. I've mentioned France's Alstom multiple times in my videos. It was once a star of European industry. However, when it threatened American industrial dominance, it was immediately taught a lesson by America's big stick. The U.S. government arrested Alstom's CEO, filed multiple charges against him, launched various investigations and sanctions against Alstom. Ultimately, Alstom sold its core business to America's General Electric at a low price, never recovering. The French government could do nothing but protest verbally. After all, American troops protect Europe. The dollar is the world's currency. The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication is controlled by Americans, capable of plunging all of France into economic collapse at any moment, let alone a single company. There are many such examples. In the 1980s, the U.S. waged an economic war against Japan, forced Japan to sign the Plaza Accord, crushed Japanese-American semiconductor companies, dismantled Japan's dominant semiconductor industry. Japan has never recovered, no longer able to challenge America's tech hegemony. Trump's threats to Panama, his desire to annex Greenland and Canada, are written all over his face. He doesn't hide it, calling Trudeau the governor of Canada's state in front of global media. Small countries like Denmark tremble before America's hegemony, utterly powerless to resist. Back to today's topic. Can TSMC really save America's chip manufacturing industry? If the goal is to boost America's advanced process capacity within 5 years, TSMC can do it. After all, only 4 companies globally can produce chips below 7 nanometers. TSMC, Samsung, Intel, SMIC. TSMC not only leads in process technology, but also far surpasses Samsung, Intel, SMIC in yield, thanks to its unique advanced packaging techniques. Samsung and SMIC have support from the South Korean and Chinese governments, respectively, maintaining relative stability. Intel is on the brink of collapse. The U.S. government's intervention can enable TSMC to help Intel quickly overcome process bottlenecks, improve costs in mature chip production, enhance yields in advanced processes. The Arizona factory will meet the chip demands of American tech giants, train a large number of local engineers. Within 3 to 5 years, America's chip industry will see short-term profit returns. However, we cannot overlook TSMC's true core advantage. It's not advanced processes or packaging, but the unique corporate culture of East Asia. This strict management model prioritizes work above life. Everything revolves around work. It's the key to TSMC's success. 3 shifts, nonstop 24-hour operations, immediate on-site response to issues, vacations canceled at any time, work mistakes met with public criticism, bonus deductions, even dismissal. This brutal competitive culture is unacceptable in American society, seen as a violation of human rights. The U.S. cannot provide TSMC with enough employees who adhere to its corporate culture. Such workers can only be found in East Asia, in China, Japan, South Korea. In fact, Intel once led the world in technology. It had brand advantages, was rooted in America's vast domestic market, built a strong moat through its alliance with Microsoft. However, it gradually lost ground to the ferocious competitive culture of East Asian companies. It could buy the most advanced lithography machines, use the best production software, yet it couldn't master advanced processes, couldn't compete with East Asian firms on cost and yield. It went from peak to decline in just a decade. TSMC going to America, turning into an American semiconductor manufacturing company, won't change American work culture. Instead, it will make TSMC lose its edge. American factories will take orders from American clients. Orders for Taiwan factories will drop sharply. Many engineers will lose jobs. Their best option will be to buy a plane ticket to mainland China, home to the world's largest chip manufacturing industry and market demand, with the same language and culture. Their special status allows them to get residency permits in China immediately, enjoying the same living, working, travel rights as mainland residents, with salaries far higher than in Taiwan. At this critical juncture in the U.S.-China tech war, every chip engineer is a precious strategic resource. For every one TSMC wastes, mainland China gains 1. Every happy American worker hired means 1 fewer diligent Taiwanese engineer employed. Mainland China's tech breakthroughs keep coming. Every node in advanced chip processes, including extreme ultraviolet light sources, lenses, photoresists, has been conquered. Chinese engineers are working tirelessly to improve performance, enhance efficiency, aim for mass production soon. In mature processes, Chinese companies already dominate globally with a clear edge. In new fields like carbon-based chips and quantum chips, China leads, or at least matches the U.S. China produces over 10 million college graduates annually, mostly in science and engineering. From government to private sectors, China's investment in tech research and development is top-tier globally. It has the world's only complete industrial supply chain and massive market demand. If TSMC had stayed centered in Taiwan, it could have kept its local talent system advantage, remained covered by the East Asian supply chain, maintained its lead. Now, forced to make a major strategic shift to America, the negative effects might destroy TSMC. One company like TSMC cannot fix the deep-rooted problems of America's tech industry. The essence of the tech industry is this: whoever has the most talent, the best infrastructure, works harder, shows more ambition, will break through first and win. Compared to China, the US is far behind in these areas, and it's not something that can be fixed in the short term.